members of the House and the Senate are meeting later today to continue hammering out differences between the two chambers' versions of President Obama's $3.6 trillion budget. Now, Democratic conferees last week reportedly worked out the thorniest issue, that is the question of whether to use fast-track procedures known as reconciliation, which to effectively block a Republican filibuster on the issue of health care, and they have in fact agreed to do that. Now, moderate Democrats had worried that doing so would set a really partisan tone for the health care debate, and more liberal Democrats are calling it more of an insurance policy, saying they want to work with Republicans, but they're not going to let the GOP stop them from getting what they want if in fact no compromise can be reached. Now, they're also going to use reconciliation on the issue of education, but not on energy, just not enough Democratic support for Mr. Obama's cap-and-trade plan. Meanwhile, the controversy over enhanced interrogation techniques, who knew what when, and the Justice Department memos released earlier this month by President Obama is still very much in the news. You've got different kinds of calls for investigations by different people. Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Dianne Feinstein, her committee is still investigating the interrogation technique. She says, let Congress do it. Then you've got Senate Judiciary Chairman Pat Leahy and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi calling for some kind of bipartisan truth commission or truth panel to look into these issues. But meanwhile, no one has really said anything about to what extent the investigation will cover members of Congress who were in fact briefed on the interrogation technique. So far, all the focus has been on Bush administration officials, but as it's been reported last week, certainly in the Washington Times and elsewhere, members of the intelligence panels in both the House and Senate, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi in 2002, were indeed briefed by the CIA on the interrogation techniques, and some of them did nothing to stop the use of those techniques. Now, Ms. Pelosi last week defended herself by saying she had no recourse when she was briefed by the CIA one time on waterboarding and other techniques, and that's an excuse that her Republican counterpart Pete Hoekstra called the lamest of lame excuses. From Capitol Hill, I'm Kara Rowland.